I have made many a video on all the different stables of TNA, whether it be the main event Mafia, the World Elite, Immortal, the Beautiful People. TNA had so many stables and many of them were just failures. And perhaps the biggest failure I have never discussed of a TNA stable is EV2.0, TNA's absolute failure of an ECW reunion stable. And today, we're finally discussing it. Before we get into it though, make sure to subscribe with notifications on. Only a small percentage of you watching are actually subscribed. Yada yada yada, what are you waiting for? I'm finally back on YouTube, so get subscribing and let's get into the video. On the July 15th, 2010 episode of TNA Impact, EV2.0 was formed, comprised of former ECW wrestlers RVD, Sabu, Tommy Dreamer, Stevie Richards, Rhino, Mick Foley, Raven, Devon, Pat Kenny, and Al Snow. And I know you're all wondering, why the hell is the stable called EV2.0? Well, it's because WWE owns the ECW name, so they couldn't call the team ECW Originals or ECW 2.0. So instead, they set on calling it EV 2.0 purely because it somewhat sounds like ECW. It was never explained what EV 2.0 stood for. It was just two letters and a number there. They formed by assaulting the rest of the TNA locker room, leading to Dixie Carter to give the stable their own ECW reunion pay-per-view, renaming Hard Justice to Hardcore Justice, and this took place on August 8th, 2010, and throughout the entire time, the commentary weren't allowed to say ECW, but they kept saying it and kept slipping up, and the results of the show were as followed. The FBI defeated Kid Cash, Johnny Swinger, and Simon Diamond. Too Cold Scorpio defeated C.W. Anderson. Stevie Richards with the Blue Tilly and Hollywood Nova defeated PJ Polaco, aka Just Incredible. Rhino defeated Al Snow and Brother Runt. Team 3D defeated Axel Rotten and Cojones. And Raven defeated Tommy Dreamer, and RVD defeated Sabu. Overall, as an event, it was pretty good considering how old a lot of these guys are. I thought it was a perfectly solid ECW reunion. And following the show, the group began feuding with the Fortune stable, who attacked them and said they don't deserve to be in TNA. So what happened? What happened is that Dixie Carter gave the unsigned members of the group contracts in order to settle their score with Fortune. Now, surely you could have had a little more stakes in this feud. Could have done something where they earn their contracts, especially considering what's about to happen, as EV 2.0 started facing issues immediately. First of all, Team 3D's contracts expired, and they made no more appearances for the group thereafter when they did return, nor did Bill Alfonso or Sandman, who both no-showed the August 23rd Impact tapings. That's what happens when you use wrestlers who are well known to do this kind of stuff and have a history of doing it. And then shortly thereafter, Tony Mamaluke and Guido just disappeared from TNA and were never seen again. And due to all these departures, we'd see a new member added to EV 2.0. On the September 2nd, 2010 episode of Impact, Brian Kendrick was added to EV 2.0, a man who never once wrestled in ECW, not even WWE's version of it. Though he is a former interim WWE champion, he has zero relevance to ECW, and therefore, why the hell was he added to this group? The purpose of the group has literally been defeated already. At that year's No Surrender pay-per-view in September, EV 2.0 would have 3 matches, all against members of Fortune. They lost all 3. First, Doug Williams beat Sabu to retain the X Division title in a crazy Clash of Styles match. AJ Styles beat Tommy Dreamer in an I Quit match, and Abyss beat Rhino in a Falls Count Anywhere match. This led to the following Impact, where Tommy Dreamer admitted to defeat and tried to make a truce with Fortune. This is the least ECW stable ever. The only thing ECW about the stable are its members that used to wrestle there. Well, not all of them, Brian Kendrick, but other than that, they just look like dorks. They've been absolutely jabronied. When would you ever see an ECW wrestler begging for forgiveness and trying to truce because they're just such a loser? This isn't the grungy, edgy, hardcore ECW guys we used to know. These are just jabronis now. They lose every match and beg for mercy. These guys are meant to be the kings of extreme, but they're doing that. Bloody hell. And this of course led to Tommy Dreamer being beat down by Fortune, who did not accept his peace offer, surprisingly. The feud with Fortune continued into TNA's biggest show of the year, Bound for Glory. It would be a 5v5 lethal lockdown match, EV2.0 versus Fortune, and let me tell you, this match was absolutely awesome. It's really hard to screw up a lethal lockdown match. It's one of TNA's better stipulation in my opinion, and it's obviously their version of War Games, and War Games is always good. And hey, believe it or not, but EV2.0 won the match. They actually won, and they looked great at the end of it. Could this finally be the turning point for this so far absolute shambles of a stable? No, of course it wouldn't be. This is TNA Wrestling, damn it. Surely after Bound for Glory, Eric Bischoff would inform EV2.0 that there was a traitor amongst their ranks. There was a sussy imposter, and that a member in the group was trying to join the Immortal stable, I'm leaving that in the edit, that had just obviously formed at Bound for Glory with the We Are Coming thing with Jeff Hardy turning heel. Immortal had just formed, so there was lots of tension with the members, leading to a match between RVD and Tommy Dreamer at Turning Point. RVD won, the two made peace after, and there was also a 5-on-5 match between EV2.0 and Fortune, with each EV2.0 members' careers on the line. Fortune won, Flair fired Sabu after the match, with the firing being legitimate, so Sabu was gone. It was then revealed that Rhino was the traitor, which was really random because he never ended up joining Immortal. In fact, they rejected him and was gone from the company as a result of this storyline, much like Sabu. The same would happen to Raven, who as a result of losing a match was legitimately fired. EV2.0 members are just dropping like flies at this point. And the final match we would see involving EV2.0 was between Rhino and RVD at Final Resolution, which RVD won, meaning Rhino's turn was rendered completely useless. He turned for nothing, he turned just to lose the first match, and as I stated previously, he was then rejected by Immortal, who didn't want a loser in their group, and then he was gone from TNA, and that's how they wrote him off of TNA. And yep, that is the last we would really ever hear from EV2.0. Other members would slowly leave after this, and the group would just slowly not be a group anymore. It would stop being mentioned, they did their own thing, and yeah, that is the rise and fall of EV2.0, an absolute failure of a stable, literally formed and ended so quick. I don't know what they were thinking with this. An ECW reunion stable could have worked. It really could have done it like a main event mafia, whereas the main event mafia, but kind of anti-hero main event mafia, like they're veterans who don't get respect they deserve from the TNA locker room, but they're not heels about it, they're the baby faces about it, because you should respect them. Could have done something like that, but lo and behold, TNA Wrestling in 2010 for you. That's going to do it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy, smack the like button. I'll see you all soon. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, everything. I have loads of videos coming up, and yeah, basically I've got a big announcement coming in soon about my future on YouTube, so you'll get to hear that. Anyway, see you all soon. Don't go changing. Goodbye, and keep on rolling.